Now, my friends, what you see here is a really unique type of artifact. I have just discovered, I've had them for a year, and I just discovered what they were. Now, to start off with, I'm going to show you a little bit of a piece of a video from my friend Satuspa.
So hey, Pesselman, forgot to add that this is that Libyan Desert glass, and what it is it's a type of glass. It's a lot like a tektite. It's found in Libyan Desert, obviously, and it's from a meteorite impact of a nickel iron meteorite, and it sent the molten silicates high into the sky and out into escape velocity, left Earth's atmosphere, and then rained back down like tektites. But very pure. They say that the optical quality, in fact, of this stuff is like that of the best kinds of Pyrex glasses and lenses made out of fluorite. So inside you can see, I don't know if you can, there's a dark band, and that was sampled. There's also little bubbles, but they've sampled those dark bands. There it is. And it is, the ratio is that of an iron meteorite, the ratio abundance of nickel and iron. So that's how they know it's meteoritic. So this is how they usually are. This is a nice sized piece, fairly typical of what you find with ventifacting on the surfaces. And as far as I know, these are among the only ones that anybody's ever published of the some sort of like microblades made from Libyan Desert glass. And these are a gift to me from my father, who's a archaeologist, and among some of my most treasured things. Look at those there. Definitely blade-like. You can see all the bubbles in this one. Oops.
The awesome Satuspa, who incidentally is, most of us are artifactors, and he's more of a meteorite hound. But oh man, his channel is great. He puts up the coolest meteorite hunting videos on the planet, and other cool stuff. He's got one video where he's out he's a big fisherman guy too, and he's got one video where he's out there with him and his dogs in a boat, and this great big old whale comes up in there, and he's got like herding dogs, right? And his dog jumps in on top of this whale and starts trying to herd the whale or catch the whale or I don't know what. But it's really cool. You really need to check him out. But anyway, meteors head towards the Earth. As soon as they hit the ground, they get named meteorite. And some of them are large enough that when they hit, if they hit in like an area of really especially pure sand, the meteorite will cause, this huge, devastating impact event that is like generates massive energy, like explosive power and heat and stuff. And what it does is it melts a whole bunch of this really pure desert sands, like in the Libyan desert, where Libyan glass, that's what he's showing you comes from, that his father collected. And what it does is it mixes the meteorite material in with the molten glass and throws it up high upper atmosphere, and then falls back to the ground as things that are called tektites. Some in the house, I should have brought them out here. But most tektites look like, for all the world, like obsidian glass. But the ones in the stuff in Libya is that beautiful yellow that he's got. Now this stuff here is another version of that, basically the same story, a little bit different though, because it occurs in much bigger chunks than the Libyan stuff is known to, but it apparently landed in the Gobi Desert, and Dr. Anderson has got a really excellent video explaining it, the crystal and the early cultures that mined it in China and Mongolia, and made amazing things like this out of it. Now, I had a great deal more of these, but I kind of thought maybe they were like plastic or something, and I gave a whole bunch of them away. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But now, take a look at my phoenix here. Isn't she cool? Now, she's got, this is the red, the rose colors that you're seeing in there, that's her. Those are the natural colors. It's not reflecting off of that red felt that you saw there. And she's got bubbles and all kinds of stuff and stripes, things like that. But 9 inches long, 9 inches and change long. Isn't she cool? Isn't she a sweetie? What an amazing piece. Now, there's a little bit of story that goes with this one here, okay? Now, I have a long-term friend who's a third-generation glass worker, had a glass shop all his life that he inherited from his father. They do, they call it architectural art glass. Used to be called stained glass, but they don't really stain anymore. But nonetheless, he's probably about the most best authority on glass, ancient glass in Southern California that I know of. He's especially gifted for the really old stuff. See, because in California, in the early days of California mission era, the Spaniards, were building their churches and the missions and their churches, and they couldn't produce their own stained glass here, so they brought entire windows over from Italy and the old Catholic churches and monasteries and stuff from that were actually made in medieval times. And they stuck them in California, churches all over Southern California. And now when these get damaged, he's the one who gets called in to, they call in, the men with a plan, and that's him. So anyway, back to my story. I took these, a couple of these pieces over to him, and, just trying to figure out what it was. Man, we spent days looking at them, talking about them, having all his other, major glass brain friends come by and look at it and stuff. We never figured anything out. He said, he wasn't even sure if they were glass, if they were crystal. The bubble in there made him think, well, it can't be. I was thinking quartz crystal maybe. But we never came to any conclusion. We just finally left baffled, and I brought them back home in despair, and kind of, threw them in my curio shelves and whatnot. Here's a little closer look at some of them. Here's a little turtle. Now, this is like made out of glass that like God made, a naturally occurring glass that was created in a vast meteorite strike out in the desert. Here's a nice big old bead. These are mostly gold. Oh yeah, here's one. I like this little guy here. This little skull. Very cool thing. And they carved this thing out of that glass. Now, this is very, very hard. It also melts at like 1,600 degrees centigrade, which is higher than any glass, glass kiln for melting glass will go to efficiently. It's, you just you cannot work with this type of glass. You need a major lab, high pressure, stuff like they would use for like growing silicon crystals at a solar silicon crystal producing plant or something like that. Things that are, where you're reaching you know, extremely high temperatures, under extremely high pressure, and under really perfectly controlled conditions. Look at this one. It's pink. It's like a big section of that pink stuff. Now, this one here, just to compare, this didn't come with the rest of them. I bought this, and this is just a little skull made from a chunk of quartz crystal, and I just got it in here for comparison. But here, let me show you a couple of more. Put these away. Look at this amazing guy. Isn't this cool? Some kind of a ancient oriental guy. I don't know what or from when. Okay, now here's a couple of real hoots. Completely hollowed out all the way on the inside, round, like they were sitting it on, you know, I don't know, I almost have visions of, like, you know, a throne with, you know, posts on the sides of the throne, and these things sat up on top of it because they were clearly hollowed out to put something in, you know, I mean, to set something on there. I need you guys doing this right now like a hole in it. Get out of here. Scoot, 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 Patty. But aren't these cool? I just, honestly, I think these are maybe the all-around coolest quality of artifact that I own. Look at this one. It's got all kinds of pink stuff working in it. Isn't that a trip? It's got inclusions of, you know, I don't know if it's what it is, but it's got junk in there too. And these things here took an enormous amount of time to make. You know, carving this stuff, carving jade, oh my gosh, takes forever. They took generations to make a single piece of skilled carvers working their entire lives, and then passing the project on to their son and then to their grandson to get it finally completed. I know this because I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we used to, and for the school field trips, we'd go up to the museums in San Francisco and Chinatown. I always loved going to see the Chinese museums up there. Oh boy, they got great, crazy old jade, and they tell you the story and give you a little demonstration of how they carved jade. Very cool. Anyway, that's kind of it for now. Thanks a bunch, guys. Hey, thanks a bunch, guys. Message me, ask questions, share any information that you've got about these. I'll share the links in the video for Dr. David Anderson and Satuspa's original video. I'll put the links on this video. Thanks, guys.